Today's prompt is words, and I'll be honest, it landed a little heavy, because words can carry weight. And lately it seems like the air is full of ones that cut, divide and demand. So this page is my quiet response, a chance to soften something sharp, even just a little. Welcome back, and if you are new here, hi, I'm Gajana. This is day 8 of the July Junk Journal Challenge 2025, and each weekday this month I'm showing up with a journal page inspired by prompts from Lee over at Lee Creates. And while the paper changes and the scraps shift, the heart of this project stays the same. It's part creative play and part gentle check-in. A little space to sort through what's inside, one small page at a time. Today I'm starting with a phrase. Some words feel like a hug, others are best turned into collage. I let that one sit for a moment. Some words feel like a hug, others are best turned into collage. I thought I am taking this one as my inspirational quote for today, and I try to transform one word into something new. But first, let's start with actually gluing down day 8 and the prompt words just next to the other here on my muffin paper flip up, so that when I open it up, that I can do something underneath that. Before I begin this page, I chose a word that's been loud lately. It's hate. It shows up in news headlines, comment threads, arguments between strangers and families alike. It's easy to feel helpless in the face of that kind of energy. But I printed the word anyway, once on white paper and once on green, because I believe part of healing is facing what hurts, naming it, and then, if we are lucky, transforming it. So I take the white version and cut down the side and punch out each letter from hate. My H, my A, my T and my E into individual circles, using here my small circle punch, one after the other. And as I do, I think about how our minds can do this too. Take a big, painful concept and break it down into smaller, more manageable parts. Therapy often looks like that, softening something overwhelming by looking at it piece by piece. With that, we allow ourselves to bravely look at the different parts of what scares us, and that allows us to start freeing these parts from their roles, allowing them to grow into something new, something more joy and meaningful. Something that is adding to your life's purpose. And of course, I ink the edges with Distress Oxide ink, vintage photo of course, because that gentle blur reminds me that not everything has to be sharply defined. Our emotions are fluid too, and sometimes they bleed into things and they are a little bit blurred and a little bit fussy to see. Then I turn to the green version and cut the rest of the words, but without the first letter. So I make these little snippets where I have acceptance, tenderness and empathy. So each one I carefully trim and ink. And then I start building my little collage. And while I'm doing this, I'm thinking about how many of us carry fragments like these pieces of words, stories, memories that started one way but want to be something else now. Some of them still an echo in our nervous systems. Things people said or they didn't say. Messages we absorbed about who we should be or who we weren't allowed to be. When I choose to reassemble hate into hope, acceptance, tenderness, empathy, I'm not pretending the hard word never existed. I'm letting it evolve. And honestly, that feels a lot like therapy too to me. Therapy is so often not about erasing the past, but about giving it a new shape, a new place in the story, a different kind of voice. And here each little strip I ink feels like a choice. What do I want to give way to? What part of the story do I want to amplify now? And as I glue these pieces down, the circles and the word strips, I'm building something. A new message, a new meaning, with my own hands. And just like that, the letters haven't changed, but their meaning has. Same materials, different message. This is one of the things I love most about collage. It's a kind of emotional alchemy. We can take what once used to hurt and slowly, deliberately make it a vessel for something kinder. That's not denial, that's reclamation. There's something so powerful in choosing again, and again, and again. And even if the world hands you hate, you can still build hope out of it. Not because it's easy, but because you've learned to carry scissors and glue and tenderness in your pocket. And because the stories you tell yourself now are allowed to be different. So this page, it's not just a collage, it's a boundary, a transformation. It's me saying I see the hurt, but I don't have to hold it like that anymore. Because healing isn't about fixing. Sometimes it's about witnessing, really seeing what's being there all along and then choosing to carry it differently. Each torn edge, each inked strip I glue down, it's like I'm giving myself permission to reshape the narrative. Not to erase the pain, but to stop letting it have the final word. I think so many of us have carried words we never chose. Names, labels, judgments, sometimes whispered, sometimes shouted, and we internalized them before we even knew we had a choice. But we do. Even here, even now, we get to speak back with tenderness, with clarity, with little scraps of paper that say, that story doesn't define me anymore, or here's what I choose to believe instead. And that's what this page is saying. It's a quiet moment of authorship, a soft but firm decision about who I am and who I am becoming. I'm using this old dried tea bag and I anchor it with black and white washi tape on the right edge of the page. I'm using my art glitter glue to really securely attach the washi on the tea bag, because without that it always comes off again. I find there's something so comforting about a dry tea bag. I love the fragility and how stained it is, but it is surprisingly strong, a bit like us really. And I cut the tea bag down to size, not to hide anything, but to create a soft layer of privacy. So now it becomes a flip, like a gentle invitation to lift the veil and see what's beneath. And here's where the therapist in me shows up again. So much of our healing is about what we choose to look at when we are ready. This tea bag flap isn't just a design choice, it's a symbol of that inner door we can open or close. And either way, it's okay. You decide. I glue the phrase from the beginning to the front of the tea bag flap. Some words feel like a hug. Others are best turned into collage. Because I want that reminder to be the first thing I see tomorrow or next week or whenever I flip this open again. It's a soft prompt to keep practicing this transformation on the page and in my life. And I wonder, is there a word you are ready to transform? Maybe it's something heavy you've carried for too long, or maybe it's a quiet phrase you wish someone had said to you more often. Leave it in the comment if you like, or share your own version of a word collage on our community tab. I love to hear or see what you are choosing to soften, reframe, or hold a little more gently today. So, let's go to the final close-up. Here we are. The collage is simple, but it holds a lot. And as I look at it, I'm reminded that not every creative act has to shout. Sometimes the softest things stay with us the longest. Today's page isn't about ignoring the pain. It's about meeting it with something sturdier, kinder, and wiser. So if you are feeling worn out by the weight of the world, maybe make a page. Even just one word you wish there was more of. Write it, rip it, ink it, give it a new home. I'll be back tomorrow for day 9. Until then, be gentle with your words and let your journal hold the ones your heart is still learning to say.